Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Monday the 15th of January today and I am easing into the morning, or trying to at least. Bubby is chilling, he's not quite asleep but he's okay. Having my second coffee of the day and I'm just kind of easing into it. So I haven't vlogged in a while, but I thought it would be cool to pick up the camera and start vlogging because today is actually, I want it to be the first episode in my postpartum recovery series, which is really exciting. I wanted to film something like this last time, but obviously it was my first baby and life just is very hectic when you don't know what to do. I definitely feel like me and Bub are now in a really good routine, Nixie and I. It is just gonna be a little bit easier. Yeah, like I said, today's Monday, and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are kind of my days where it's just me and Nix at home, so it makes things really easy. Yeah, I have been wanting to film the postpartum, return to exercise and getting back into a routine and stuff for a few reasons, for my own entertainment and personal benefit to look back on and keep a record and also to keep myself accountable. But I also just really enjoy watching these videos on YouTube, and I'm at a stage now in my life where a lot of my friends are mums, a lot of my friends are having babies or looking to have babies, so I thought it would also be cool for you guys to sort of have something to follow along as well, and just to kind of keep you inspired and on track, I guess, if that's something you want to do. Probably no surprise to anyone. Obviously, I've studied exercise and nutrition science. I've worked in the fitness industry for, oh gosh, almost 7 years now. So for me, this is kind of normal, putting myself, setting little challenges or goals and expectations of myself when it comes to, exercise and nutrition and that kind of thing. So this for me is just kind of a fun exercise to kick off the new year, but also, postpartum recovery, even if it's not for exercise or fitness or aesthetic goals, it still is really important overall for everyone. So I'm 7 weeks postpartum today. That does mean I've returned to exercise. So I started exercising again last week, and it's all really low impact, and it's mainly focusing on reconnecting pelvic floor to core and just kind of getting into a routine. So I hadn't trained up until then for about 16 weeks. I stopped actually exercising around 30 weeks pregnant just because of pain and just swelling, and I wasn't comfortable. Still walking, but I wasn't weight training or resistance training or anything like that. I used to train a 5-day split. That is just super unrealistic, not only when you're a mum with a newborn but a toddler. That's just not going to really be realistic for me at the moment. But the plan is moving forward to have a 3-day split across the week, focusing on full body workouts. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, full body workouts, and then walking and just sort of keeping up my neat movement throughout the other days. Like I said, the goal for this postpartum recovery is to definitely regain pelvic floor and core connection, and it probably should be really the goal for all postpartum recovery, because that is so crucial, not just for aesthetic reasons bringing back your tummy and everything after birth, but just for life and function. Incontinence is real in women who have had multiple pregnancies and multiple births. It's something I really want to avoid. Also just for life, picking up your baby, going about your day-to-day life. If your core is not strong, your back ends up taking the brunt of that. And that was something I noticed as well, nearing the end of pregnancy and sort of straight away postpartum, was my back was kind of taking the brunt of things. So that's something we're definitely going to be focusing on. So for the last couple of weeks, I've just been doing basic core exercises that my physio gave me after I gave birth, just to kind of regain and strengthen everything, because when you first give birth, it's you've got no core strength. So that's something I'm also focusing on with the training. Nothing high impact in the sense of like HIIT or like jumping around or anything, because I think I'm a little whiles away off that yet. Like I said, I want to film this just to keep myself on track and accountable. I just don't want to have any excuses. I don't want to use the kids as an excuse. I want to use them as a reason to kind of get back into it all, be able to like run around after them and feel my best. But yeah, I do find for me, when I was in prep, when I started this YouTube channel, if you guys remember, I found that a really good way to keep myself accountable as well, because like I said, I do like to set little challenges for myself. So I will be doing like body updates and that kind of thing, and you know, taking you through like full days of eating and whatnot, mainly for, you know, your entertainment. I hope you guys enjoy it for my own accountability as well. So like I said, today, Monday, it's just a home day. I'm probably gonna make some breakfast soon and then get into like some jobs and stuff around the house and just, yeah, kind of chill around the house and get things tidy. So it's just gonna be like a full day of eating, vlog style. What I'm actually going to do before I start cooking while Bob's still asleep is fill up my water bottle. I've got like a big water bottle from Kmart that I got for my birthday, and I just fill it up and walk around with it all day long because, excuse my messy room, you do get very dehydrated when you're breastfeeding, obviously, because you're making milk all the damn day. I really need to make my bed. I'm gonna do that after I eat. Now, one of the keys to staying hydrated is electrolyte balance. So I have been taking electrolytes as well. I have this one by Nutraway. It's called Fido Powder. It's cherry flavor. It is delicious. I love it. The only thing about this one is it doesn't seem to have magnesium, which is a bit odd, but it does have like sodium and the B vitamins, vitamin C as well. And yeah, it just doesn't have a magnesium, which I thought was a little bit weird, but everything else is in there. And this is obviously really good for electrolyte balance and staying hydrated, because yeah, I just am so, I'm probably putting a little bit too much in here, but I love the flavor. I think number one, that like the fact that it's flavored just encourages me to drink more water, but also because you do get very dehydrated when you're breastfeeding, the electrolytes do help to keep you hydrated. So I usually have 2 serves of this a day, one in the morning and then usually one while I'm working out. If I sound like I'm whispering, it's just because Bob is asleep. But here is my breakfast, first meal of the day. I don't want to say the word protein 228,000 times in this video, but I'm probably going to because it's so important. Just again, for life in general, protein is one of those macronutrients that is really, really important. Obviously, all 3 of them are really important. That's why they're called macronutrients. But I find when I center my nutrition or my way, like my meal plan or whatever, around protein, that's when I find I see the best results for myself. And again, not just in appearances or you know, progress with body recomposition, but also just overall health, energy, and satiety. So protein is primarily from the eggs, cottage cheese, and the ham. Also some good complex carbohydrates from the bread in there. I choose a whole grain bread just because I prefer to get that extra fiber as well, because fiber is important. When it comes to protein, I am trying to have around 30 grams at every meal. And when I say meal, I am also including snacks, because I'll usually eat like 6 meals or like 5 meals a day. Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, maybe dessert sometimes. As long as I make sure I'm getting around 30 grams of protein at each meal, that's number one, best for protein absorption, but that also puts me at between 120 and 150 grams of protein a day. And for someone with my height, my size, my goals, that works really well for me. But yeah, I think I would have said in my last video, like returning to exercise, I did want to make sure my protein was up, because my goals are to build muscle. So I did lose a little bit of muscle mass in those weeks where I wasn't training. Even though I'm saying I want to be getting around 30 grams of protein in each meal. I'm not tracking at all. Like I'm not weighing, I'm not measuring, but I have weighed and measured in the past for so long, so I kind of know what that looks like. I'd say this is roughly between sort of 25 to 30 grams. It's probably closer to between 20 and 25, to be honest. As long as I'm keeping between sort of 25 to 30 grams at a meal, I'm good. If you've not tracked in the past, I'd say like ideally, if you're tracking your protein intake to make sure you're getting enough, that's awesome. But postpartum is not a time, in my opinion, to track your calories. Like you've got so much going on, like looking after your baby, you're sleep deprived, time poor. Usually it's not like necessarily at all. So when I'm building a meal, that's kind of what I take into consideration first. Protein source, around 30 grams, and then adding in like a source of healthy fat and complex carbohydrate around that, and you should be right. I think it's pretty common knowledge now that your weight on the scale doesn't really give you good metrics of where you're at in terms of your progress, especially if the goal is body recomposition in the sense of muscle gain and body fat reduction. I actually can't remember the last time I weighed myself. I think it would have been February 2023. So I actually have no idea how much I weigh on the scale, and I kind of don't want to know because it doesn't really give me any information that's necessarily important. However, for me, I really find the best way to track my progress is with photos and measurements. So I'll be doing that throughout this entire sort of mini series, just to make sure I'm, you know, progressing the way that I want to. Now, I'm gonna be 100% honest, I was of two minds about filming this little series, just because I don't want any like women or mums out there to watch this and feel like I'm perpetuating bounce back culture, because that's something that I don't want to do. But I feel like as mums as well, it is just good for us to take time for ourselves, and that's something that we don't often do. Postpartum is definitely not the time to put a whole heap of pressure on oneself. For me, this sort of thing was inevitable. Like I have been training now for 10 years. I trained for 5 years before I had my first baby, trained, you know, after I had him, I did, you know, volunteer my time to do a bodybuilding competition. Not that it went to fruition because I had my first baby, but you know what I mean. Take it or leave it. Like if, you know, returning to exercise and that kind of thing is of no importance to you, or it's not what fills your cup, then that's fine. But for me, I guess it's like my self-care, if that makes sense. I don't want anyone to watch this and feel like they're putting pressure on themselves, or I'm putting pressure on myself, because I'm not. This is something that I just really love to do. Like I said, take it or leave it. Oh, my baby's awake. Okay, so I've just sent my sister through my check-ins and measurement for the week, so I figured now would be a good time to do like starting point for, I guess, a body update, or like my before photo. So obviously I'm wearing high-waisted leggings right now, and if I were like flexing, that's kind of what I look like. But then if I relax, I obviously have diastasis recti, or DR, which is separation of the abdominal wall, rectus abdominis at the front. So that's pretty common for most women after they've given birth to have some kind of separation. I think when I first gave birth 7 weeks ago, it was about a 3 centimeter separation, and now it's about like 1.5 to 2. It's pretty standard. And that is a big part of this recovery series, is basically closing that gap. It can cause pain, like it can cause back pain, like I was saying. Your rectus abdominis might be separated, but as long as your transverse abdominis, which is the corset muscle, like your deep core, as long as you can still create a lot of pressure with that, your core health is quite good, and that can actually help close the gap. Yeah, this is kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm pretty much same measurements now, almost 7 or like 2 months on, that I was before I felt pregnant. It's just my composition is a little different now, which is completely fair enough. So we've just had a feed. It wasn't a very big one, so we'll probably be due for another one in like maybe 45 minutes to an hour. My house is a mess. I need to like make this bed, clean the kitchen, put on some washing. That's pretty much what Mondays are for. I wanted to do some baking, but I realized I don't have any dates. I've been using dates as like sweetener because I'm also out of sugar. So I ran out of sugar and then I was using dates, and now I've run out of dates. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to do that. I just really need to get into this house and clear up the chaos. Also, shout out to this sports bra company, or this sports company. I think it's called the Milk Boutique. I was looking everywhere for maternity sports bras that were good quality, cute, and somewhat affordable. Do you think that that was easy? Do you think that was easy to do? It absolutely was not, but I actually got these last year in I think it was like Cyber Monday or Black Friday. So, no, it was end of financial year. It was the end of financial year sale, because I remember I bought them way before I was due to give birth, but I wanted to be prepared. I got these for $20. They usually are, I think, $60, which for something of this quality, like, it's got like the band around here is insane. It's got a clasp. You can do racer back like I'm doing, or you can just do it like over to the other side. But yeah, they're feeding friendly, so they unclip and you can feed in them, and the clasps are really sturdy and strong. And I've got so many different colors of these. If we come to my activewear drawer, which is a little bit messy at the moment, they've got this forest green one, they've got this black speckle one, they've also then got like this periwinkle blue, which I love. I wear that one a lot. And then they have this other style, because these are all of those ones that I just showed you are the same style as this. Then they've got a pump, like a pumping sports bra, and I got it in like a really nice like teal blue. So I got 5 sports bras for $100. So not sponsored in any way, shape or form. I just absolutely thought these were the steal of a lifetime. Okay, so it's about, what's the time? It's 11:09 right now, and Bub is about to do some tummy time. I'm really hungry and it's time for morning tea. I am definitely so much more hungry now that I'm breastfeeding. Okay, so my obsession at the moment is mixing Greek yogurt with protein powder. This one is by XS. I haven't had actually any issues with it, like digestively, oddly enough, because it is a whey protein and it does have the barley grass in there, but I've found it's been fine. And like I haven't had any issues with like too much gas with him, but I've been taking this like the whole time I've been breastfeeding. So anyway, it's delicious. I'm gonna mix those two together now. I went ahead and mixed up the yogurt and the protein powder. This is just my go-to midday, mid-morning snack. It's delicious. But earlier in the week, I'd also made a batch of gluten-free banana bread muffins, and I just crumbled one of them on top and mixed it through. Now I'm starting off this workout with some slow and controlled stretching just to get everything warmed up before we kind of get into it. Stretching and opening up the thoracic space actually takes a lot of pressure off of the linea alba and the rectus abdominis. So it's helpful to make sure we're doing this before we exercise, but also you can do this by keeping a good posture throughout the day as well, opening up that space and taking that pressure off the linea alba. Every single one of these exercises is for activating deep core and pelvic floor connection, because like I've been saying for the whole of this video, that is what's most important when it comes to recovery, is regaining that connection and the mind muscle connection as well. Now, as boring as it looks, because yes, these exercises are a little bit boring, I did start the workout off with some deep belly breathing just to get that connection and that feeling, almost like a muscle activation. And guys, I do want to preface, this video is sped up 5 times. So I am doing these exercises very slowly, very controlled as I work through them. Bubba's getting a little bit upset, so baby wearing him now. This is like the best invention for mum. Yeah, it's 1:15 now, so yeah, it's definitely lunchtime. And he was cracking into crying. So I'm gonna make lunch while I wear him. I'm just gonna make like a really yummy nourish bowl. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna use as a source of protein. I'm gonna have a look, see if we have any like sort of frozen stuff. As we have tuna, so I'm gonna like whip up a bowl and I'll show you guys in a second. Alright, here is my lunch. I had 4 of those salmon patties. I just ate one while I was compiling the salad because I was really hungry, but they were just a mix of egg, tuna in spring water, and some besan flour, salt, pepper, and Italian herbs, and I just fried them in a pan with some olive oil. There is some roasted sweet potato that I had in the freezer that I just like microwaved, and then I've just got a little salad here of tomato, lettuce, and capsicum, and I topped the whole thing with tahini and balsamic vinegar. So I'm so excited to eat this. We've got some complex carbohydrates under here, some micronutrients with the veggies, really great protein from the tuna. There's actually about 35 grams of protein in those 4 patties, including the egg in there. So yeah, oh, Bubby's getting upset. I'm still wearing him, so I'm gonna go. Also, since I'm kind of like post-workout right now, I'm just gonna take a couple scoops of this and put it in my water. It's called a muscle recovery. It's essentially just a glorified BCAAs, but as I was saying this morning that my Phyto powder doesn't have any magnesium in it, this actually has 50% of your RDI for magnesium. So I'm gonna put this in my water bottle right now and sip on it because it's time to feed again. Woohoo! 3:30itis has definitely kicked in for me. I'm feeling really tired. I've just poured myself a shot of coffee. It's in our little antique cups, but I just realized we're out of almond milk, so I'm gonna have it black, which is annoying. I was kind of hoping for like a latte or something. This is my 3rd coffee of the day. I've tried to keep it to 2, but sometimes it's just not possible. I'm really tired right now. I am not really hungry. Usually I'll have like an afternoon snack, but that lunch was pretty big, and usually on Mondays it's Ash's like big working day, and it's usually the day that we have like a really big dinner, so I'm just gonna wait until that. But oh no, I just spilled it. I can have my coffee and spill it too much. Only a little bit came out the side just because I'm tired and the camera is heavy. So I'm gonna have this, but yeah, I am trying to keep it to usually 2 cups of coffee a day, but I will be honest, postpartum, you're sleep deprived. Like, he had a pretty good night's sleep. He only woke up at 3 and then again at 5. But even just disturbed sleep takes it out of you. So trying to keep it to 2 coffees a day, but I'm having 3 today. Bubby was cracking it on the floor, so I picked him up on cooking dinner. The boys are outside barbecuing. We're having burgers and sweet potato chips for dinner because, in the words of Gigi Hadid, very wise, she said, do your squats, eat your vegetables, and have a burger to stay sane. And that is exactly what we're doing. And I think, again, I probably should have prefaced this when I sort of was debriefing this morning about this whole recovery series, Baby Brains Real, so I just didn't even really touch on it. But there's no like end in sight or like 8-week or 12-week thing that I'm trying to smash out. This is definitely like a slow process, and it's not about restricting. It's about focusing on optimizing nutrition, for one, making sure I'm not just living off my toddler's scraps, and 2, the 6-week return to exercise is like entirely an arbitrary number. And whilst, you know, this channel was never created to be like a substitute for medical advice, recommend anything in particular, but if I could give any advice when you go to your 6-week checkup and you want to return to exercise, and your doctor, you know, just checks your stitches, they'll likely check, see that your uterus is like contracted as it should have, probably examine your DR as well. But at the end of the day, what they should do is be referring you or recommending that you look in with pelvic floor PT or a physiotherapist or exercise physiologist. I still need to do that and just to get an overall, oh honey, it's okay, like a much more intact game plan for myself. So whilst I know that I feel much better in my body and I'm ready to return to like low impact exercises and doing those core movements that I showed you, which really are basic, and I am doing some home workouts with the dumbbells, I'm not like returning back to my full bodybuilder exercise regime that I would have been doing, like the 5-day split and everything like that, and super high impact. I mean, I did touch on that briefly this morning, but I think if I can give any advice to anyone that's had a baby, is book in with a physiotherapist or someone that is specialized in pelvic floor health and like get a game plan together. I think the only reason that 6-week mark is usually the like I said, the arbitrary number that's chosen is because that's usually when you stop bleeding, and that's usually when your stitches have healed if you've had any. But like, you know, if you are having other issues like with, you know, potentially prolapse or incontinence or anything like that, which is very real, or just like a weak pelvic floor in general, that's worth getting checked out as well. Definitely be doing that, it's on the cards. But I wanted to start the postpartum series now because I am at a point where I am like itching to just get back into that routine. I'm gonna do like a more of a broken down scientific video with all of this as well. But yeah, we're just gonna make burgers now, so you'll see them when they're done.